Hello, sweet friend. I'm so happy you pressed play today. My name is Sara, and I want to tell you something close to my heart. This is not just a story, it's a piece of my life. It's about dreams, about hope, and about the long road that sometimes feels too hard to walk. But here's the truth. You can do it. You're already doing something amazing by listening to English right now. As the Bible says, the plans of the diligent lead surely to abundance. And I believe you will grow in your English every single day. Welcome to Fluent English Every Day, and let's begin my journey together. When I was a little girl, my home was in a small, quiet village far from the city. The houses were simple, the roads were dusty, and the nights were filled with the sound of crickets. My parents worked from sunrise to sunset in the fields. We didn't have much money, but our home was full of love. One day, I became very sick. My mother took me to the only clinic we had. A kind doctor took my hand and smiled. "Don't worry," she said softly. "You will be fine." That day stayed in my heart forever. For the first time in my life, I thought, I want to be like her. But deep inside, I knew something. If I wanted to be a doctor, I had to speak English. In our small school, there were no English teachers. No one around me spoke the language. To be honest, I was scared. How could a village girl like me learn something so big? Yet I remembered the words from Proverbs, "Commit your work to the Lord, and your plans will be established." I decided that even if the road was long, I would take the first step. And so my journey began with one old worn-out book. The book belonged to my cousin. Its pages were yellow, and some words were too difficult for me. But every night, I sat under the small lamp in our kitchen, repeating the same words again and again. Sometimes I cried when I could not understand. Sometimes I felt like giving up. One evening, my father came and stood behind me. He placed his warm hand on my shoulder and said, "Sara, nothing is easy at the start, but if you don't stop, you will see the reward." His voice reminded me of Proverbs 31 minutes and 25 seconds. She is clothed with strength and dignity, and she laughs without fear of the future. Then, one morning, something unexpected happened. Out of nowhere, a new teacher came to our school. Her name was Miss Helen. She spoke English clearly, and when I told her my dream of becoming a doctor, she didn't laugh, she smiled. "Sara," she said gently, "you can do it. We will learn together." Those words lit a fire in my heart. I stayed after school every day to listen to her, to copy her words, to repeat every sentence until my voice grew tired. I didn't know where this road would lead me, but I knew I had to keep walking it, step by step, with faith in my heart. One cold morning, Miss Helen entered the classroom with a quiet face. She looked at us for a moment before speaking. "I have to leave the village," she said softly. "My family needs me in the city." Her words felt like a heavy stone in my chest. I didn't see it coming, and it broke my heart. I walked home that day feeling lost, wondering how I could go on. Yet, in my mind, I heard Proverbs 3-5, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not lean on your own understanding." Maybe this was part of the plan I could not see. That night, I lay awake staring at the ceiling. The thought of giving up whispered to me, but I tried not to listen. I remembered my father's gentle words, "Nothing is easy at the start." If Miss Helen had believed in me, then I should believe in myself. Before leaving, she gave me a small blue notebook. On the first page, she wrote, "Sara, every word you write is one step closer to your dream." Her gift became my treasure. It reminded me of Proverbs 16-3, "Commit your work to the Lord, and your plans will be established." I carried that notebook everywhere I went. I wrote down new words I heard on the radio. I copied sentences from old books at the library. I even practiced speaking to myself in the mirror, no matter how silly it felt. Some people laughed, but I remembered Proverbs 4-7. The beginning of wisdom is this: get wisdom. And whatever you get insight. I told myself that every small word I learned was like planting a seed that would one day grow into a tree. One day, my cousin came from the city with a small radio. He said it was old, but it still worked. I turned the dial and found an English learning program. The teacher spoke slowly and clearly. Every morning before school, I sat by the window, listening and repeating. Some words were strange to my tongue, but I kept trying. Proverbs 8:17 says, I love those who love me, and those who seek me diligently find me. I felt that these words were true for learning too. If I sought knowledge, I would find it. Weeks passed, and then something new came to the school. Our headmaster announced that there would be a scholarship test. The top students would study in the city, where there were science labs and better teachers. My heart beat fast when I heard it. Could I pass? My friends told me it was too difficult for a village girl like me, but I thought of Proverbs 14:23. In all toil there is profit, but mere talk tends only to poverty. I decided I would not just talk about my dream, I would work for it. For 2 months, I studied harder than I ever had in my life. I woke up before the sun, reading my notebook and practicing aloud. I listened to the radio every evening. Sometimes I forgot words, but I wrote them again until I remembered. I practiced my speaking in front of the mirror, telling myself, Sarah, you can do this. Proverbs 31:17 says, she sets about her work vigorously. Her arms are strong for her tasks. Those words gave me courage when I felt weak. The day of the test finally came. My hands were cold and my stomach felt tight. The first part was listening, and I focused with all my heart. Then came speaking, and I shared my dream of becoming a doctor. The examiner listened quietly, then smiled at me. In that moment, I felt the truth of Proverbs 18:16. A man's gift makes room for him and brings him before the great. When the results were posted, I stood in front of the board, afraid to look. My eyes searched the paper slowly, and then I saw it, my name. I had passed. I was one of the 2 students chosen for the scholarship. My knees felt weak, and my heart filled with joy. My parents hugged me tightly, and my father whispered, this is just the beginning, Sarah. I thought of Proverbs 13:2-4. The soul of the diligent shall be made rich. All the late nights and early mornings had not been wasted. The city school was bigger, louder, and much faster than I had imagined. At first, I struggled to understand my teachers. The other students spoke English more fluently, and sometimes I felt small. But I remembered my father's words and Miss Helen's gift. I told myself, I came this far, I cannot go back now. I worked harder, staying after school to ask questions. Proverbs 1-5 says, let the wise hear and increase in learning, and the one who understands obtain guidance. Those words became my daily reminder to keep listening, keep learning, and keep growing. I joined the science club, even though I understood only half of what they said. I read English textbooks with a dictionary by my side, writing new words in my notebook. Some nights, I stayed up until midnight finishing assignments. Proverbs 4:18 says, the path of the righteous is like the morning sun, shining ever brighter till the full light of day. I believed that every day I studied, I was getting closer to the light of my dream. Years passed, and I graduated from high school with good grades. The next step was medical college, and it was the hardest challenge I had ever faced. The lessons were long, and the books were heavy, both in size and in English. Many times I felt tired and ready to quit, but I remembered the little girl in the village kitchen, reading under a dim light. Proverbs 24:10 says, "If you faint in the day of adversity, your strength is small." I wanted my strength to be great, so I kept going. Finally, the day came when I stood in front of my family wearing a white doctor's coat. My mother's eyes filled with tears, and my father's smile was brighter than the sun. I had become the doctor I once dreamed of being as a child. Learning English had been the bridge to my dream, and crossing it had changed my life forever. Proverbs 3:6 says, "In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make straight your paths." Truly, my path had been made straight through faith, work, and patience. My dear friend, if you are learning English now, remember this: you are not just learning words. You are building a key that can open doors you do not even see yet. You are investing in yourself, and that is the best investment you can make. Proverbs 16:24 says, "Gracious words are like a honeycomb, sweetness to the soul and health to the body." Every new word you learn is sweet food for your future. Thank you for joining me today and listening to my story. You have done something wonderful for yourself by practicing. I believe in you, and I know you can reach your dream too. If this story touched your heart, please subscribe to Fluent English every day, and let's keep learning together. Practice every day, speak with courage, and never stop believing. Your journey is just beginning, and the world is waiting for you to shine.